Craig Morgan on 94.3 The Ox. It is 8:34 in the morning and time for the Monday morning health checkup with Cynthia Newton from Hope Counseling. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
That was like jinx. I'm doing well.
You didn't have a mic, so that's okay.
Yeah, so nobody heard me.
Nobody
anyway.
heard my third flub this morning.
It's Monday. You know what? It's Monday. So, this month, last month I kind of went backwards. So this month we're going forwards. Last week I went backwards. So this month I'm going forwards today. I'm sorry. My brain is whatever. Oh, it's going to be a Monday.
It did a number on us.
That and the heat.
I
think we're still all recovering from this
that's right.
torrential weather that we're having here in
horrible.
Texas. It's not going to get better. So this month, May, is Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, and that's huge when you think about there's just so many aspects to mental health in and of itself. But this Mental Health Awareness Month marks a critical moment for our nation. The COVID-19 pandemic has only contributed to rising rates of mental health challenges, such as depression and anxiety, substance misuse, and serious thoughts of suicide and suicide attempts, particularly for youth and marginalized communities. Mental health is currently a hot topic today. This is good news. It means the stigma for mental health issues is slowly going away. Mental health issues are finally getting the attention they deserve. Healthcare workers and individuals feel they can discuss mental health more openly. However, that doesn't mean there isn't still work to do. As a whole, we often misunderstand mental health because it is hard to define. Additionally, mental health includes several areas. These areas involve one's social, emotional, and psychological well-being. Mental health affects the thoughts, feelings, and actions. When one has positive mental health, they are better equipped to handle stress, be more productive, and realize their full potential. While we focus on our physical well-being, the food we eat, exercise, and getting regular checkups for vision and dental care, we often forget to take stock of our emotional and spiritual needs. Everyday demands take their toll. So, at the center of our national mental health crisis is a severe shortage of behavioral health trained providers. Over 1/3, this is a huge number, over 1/3 of Americans live in designated mental health professional shortage areas.
Wow.
1/3 of Americans live in areas that there's a mental health shortage. These are areas that have fewer mental health providers than the minimum their population would need. The historical challenges in recruiting and retaining these and other essential workers have been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Recent studies indicate elevated levels of burnout among healthcare workers, along with depression and other mental health challenges. So not only are you looking at burnout amongst healthcare workers, but you're also looking at burnout amongst mental health care workers. This has been a hard 2 years for us as well, in trying to navigate and work with so many crisis situation and so many individuals that have just the last 2 years in and of itself has created just massive amounts of mental health issues. With mental health entering more and more of our daily conversations, it's critical that everyone has a solid foundation of knowledge about mental health. That's why for Mental Health Month this year, Mental Health America is getting back to the basics. So that's the theme this year of our month. For 2022, Mental Health Month for 2022 is back to the basics. Addressing mental health symptoms early is critically important for overall health. From social determinants of health to genetics, many factors are in play when it comes to mental health conditions, but there are protective measures that can prevent mental health conditions from developing or keep symptoms from becoming severe. While 1 in 5 people will experience a mental illness during their lifetime, everyone faces challenges in life that can impact their mental health. About half of Americans will meet the criteria for a diagnosable mental health condition sometime in their life. I mean,
that's big numbers.
Huge numbers. And so half of America will meet the criteria for a diagnosable mental health condition sometime in their life, with symptoms starting by age 24 for the majority of people. The average delay between symptom onset and treatment is 11 years.
Oh my goodness.
Meaning a lot of people spend months or years facing mental health challenges before getting a diagnosis. It is never too early to seek treatment for your mental health. Intervening effectively during early stages can save lives and is critically important for people living with mental health conditions. Social, cultural, and historical factors often impact the mental health of communities that have traditionally been marginalized. These communities experience overt racism and bigotry far too often, which leads to a mental health burden that is deeper than what others may face. Life can be challenging, but every day shouldn't feel hard or out of control. If it does, one of the quickest and easy ways to determine whether you are experiencing symptoms of a mental health condition is to take a mental health screening. The delays in treatment for mental health condition are no longer than for many other health conditions. Getting screened increases the chances of getting treatment. Mental Health America has free, anonymous, and scientifically validated mental health screens. So there are some that are free and available to you. But be aware, that yes, they're validated, but you still need to look at getting mental health assistance. Your screening results can be used to start a conversation with your primary care provider or a trusted friend or a family member or a trusted therapist, and you can begin to plan a course of action for addressing your mental health. When facing a mental health concern or living with a mental health condition, it's common to feel like no one understands what you're going through. You aren't alone. Help is available and recovery is possible. So I'm so excited about the rollout of something coming in July nationwide. July 16th of this year, 2022. Call 988. Okay, call 988 for matters of mental health crisis. Calling 988 will connect you directly to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is staffed by trained crisis counselors 24/7, 365 days a year. This has been huge. We've often had long numbers we had to remember, but now they are going to roll that out in July of this year, and I'll be talking about y'all this more in July, as we get to that, just a reminder. But it's coming. It's going to be very important for the mental health. So it's not like, oh crud, I have to remember that 800 number, just kind of like, all these other numbers that, the 211 and just different things that have come out. We're now going to have a national crisis 3-digit number as well.
That's awesome.
So yes, it is. It's amazing just to see the strides that have happened in mental health over the last few years. And I think on some levels, part of this is in light of the pandemic. Things came so much more into light of the needs, maybe that we didn't want to see or we didn't want to talk about or anything of that nature. But in light of the pandemic, it just blew up. So we're able to reach things on a wholly different level than we have. So what I'm going to do throughout the next couple of weeks is I'm going to break down just some really, really basic, back to the basic mental health stuff recognized from the National Association on Mental Health, and just kind of talk to you and educate you more on basic mental health things. Okay, so I'm looking forward to going through this with you. One of the things this week that we need to be aware of is how some kids are getting out of school this week. Every child in the state of Texas at most grade levels are taking STAR tests.
Right. That's a lot of stress.
That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stress. So how can you support students through that end of the year stress as well as through the STAR testing? So you need to be aware of this as well this week. I've got 2 kiddos that are going to be taking STAR tests this week. A lot of y'all had students last week taking STAR tests, and it's hard on the students as well as the teachers. So especially this year, since we're kind of back in the classroom full time, and it's just we're kind of back to the STAR test being a true evaluation, whereas we've not really had that for the last couple of years. So acknowledge that the end of the year can be a stressful time to the students. Tell the students that they can come to you if they're struggling or just want to talk. Assign self-care, such as going for a walk, getting 8 hours of sleep, spending time in nature, sitting down with a cup of tea, or talk to a friend. So assigning self-care to your students is really important. Not pushing the electronics, especially this week, really pushing those walks outside, pushing just, some enjoyment after school, recreational, get them, just that downtime, because they're going to be having tested, their brain is tired. The electronics is going to stimulate the brain in a different way than they need at this time of the year. Model self-care by sharing what you are doing to manage end of the year stress. So what are you doing as a parent or a teacher to manage your end of the year stress? And it's really important to model that self-care for you. And check in with students, teachers. Please check in with the students that you're worried about, and administrators. And we know that y'all do, and we appreciate everything that you do. But make sure you do check in with them, because they may not be as vocal, but you know that there's something going on with them. So be sure to check in. So, all right. So one other thing I want to talk about is teenagers, is how to talk to your teen when you're worried about them. So especially right now, in light of this end of the year stress, and you're really worried about them, pick a quiet time, work to stay calm and open. Tell them what you've been observing. Ask them open-ended questions about what's going on. Let them know you want to help and listen. Acknowledge what they are telling you. Don't just blow it off and ignore them. Don't be on your phone while they're talking to you. Give them your undivided attention. Ask if they would like help fixing it, or if they just want you to listen. There's a big difference. Maybe sometimes they just want you to listen, but sometimes they really want you to help them fix it. Take a break. If you get angry or emotional, start again when you're calm. Okay? So, mental health, guys, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're getting back to the basics this year in mental health, on the heels of COVID-19 and the pandemic life that we've lived for the last 2 years. So mental health is real. It's amongst you. Remember, 1 in 5 people, and then you look at 50% of the American population in and of itself. So just be aware that there's a lot of people out there that may not know how to seek help, and we're going to talk about some different things throughout this month. So awesome. As always, at Hope Counseling of Texas, we're here for you, with offices in Eastland, Hamilton, Comanche, and Dublin. One of these days I'm going to, every once in a while I kind of stumble over that. Glad it's not on the wrong day of the week when I'm driving to the wrong office. But but you can find us in Eastland, Comanche, Hamilton, and Dublin at 325-356 1105 or 325-356-0075. We're here for you. Anything that we can do to help you. Also, you can find us on Facebook at Hope Counseling of Texas.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Cynthia. We look forward to your next sessions coming this month. Remember, you can catch the Monday morning health checkup with Cynthia Newton and Hope Counseling right here on 94.3 The Ox every Monday. And if you want to look back and maybe you missed some of it and you thought it was important, you can go over to our Facebook page. We'll be posting that live video of that here shortly. All right, we are going to get back into some music after a quick commercial break. Stick around. You're on 94.3 The Ox.
These days, reliable internet is everything. Whether you're surfing, streaming, binging, or working